Welcome to another episode of Geeky Discovery, a show where we share and discuss our geeky passions with you and each other on a fortnightly basis. I'm Kim.
And I'm Tracy. First up, we have some geeky news. Chris Hardwick just got married this past weekend.
Finally.
I know he's been talking about it ever since he got engaged. Congratulations to the both of them, Chris Hardwick and Lydia Hurst. They are in Japan now.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure they do not listen to this podcast.
No, but we definitely see his Instagram.
Yes.
In television news, this week there were two shows, one returning and one new one that I want to bring to people's attention. The first one, Halt and Catch Fire, is back for season 3. This right now, critics have been calling the most underrated show in television at the moment because no one seems to be watching it, even though it's amazing.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Basically, it's set in the 80s with what starts off with a budding computer program. It kind of later shifts towards a software company. But it stars Lee Pace, which we all know from Pushing Daisies.
Yeah, I love him.
Who's awesome.
He was also in The Hobbit, don't forget.
That's true. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh. We're going to list his whole entire IMDb right here. But especially for season 3, it kind of shifts from the men sort of taking over the company, or I guess managing the company, shifting it to 2 women, which is great. And they're played by Mackenzie Davis and Carrie Bishi? I'm not quite sure how to say her last name. But it is awesome. They kind of call it the Mad Men of today's television at the moment, but set in the 80s. So highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. Very geeky. Talks a lot about computer stuff that I don't understand. But it's just great. So definitely check that one out. That one's on AMC. On NBC, there's a brand new show that stars William Shatner, which I know you're a huge fan of, Tracy.
Yeah.
As well as Henry Winkler, George Foreman, and Terry Bradshaw. They're all old guys, apparently really good friends with each other, and they decided to go traveling. The show is called Better Late Than Never, so better late than never to go to Asia, they decided. They brought along some young guy, Jeff Dye, who's apparently a upcoming comedian. It's no Anthony Bourdain, though. Don't look into it as that. Just think of it as 4 very American old guys going into a culture that they don't care for yet or understand. So if you want to watch William Shatner and Harry Winkler, they're like the 2 frontrunners of it, even though it is a group of 4. Just being uncomfortable in Tokyo. That's what the first episode's about.
Aww.
And apparently they're going to go to Thailand and a couple other places in Asia. But I thought it was hilarious. I love travel shows. And yeah, William Shatner's in it. Also taught me that he is 85 years old. I had no idea. I thought maybe he was in his late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, no.
But 85.
Yeah.
I want to look as good as William Shatner when I'm 85. And that's not a sentence I never thought I'd say.
I think, you have to think about when the original Star Trek was and how old he was then. And
that's true. But he beats them all in walking up a giant flight of stairs. I know that I'm like selling this show right now.
No, that's great.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. And again, NBC, 4 old guys and a young dude.
How long is the flight of stairs? Like, how big is it?
I think they said it was like 800 stairs.
Wow.
So it was tall. It was to be able to see Mount Fuji. Oh. They didn't go to Mount Fuji because the comedian guy that's like their tour guide was like, I don't think you guys are going to make it. So we're going to see Mount Fuji from an awesome place that, happens to be 800 stairs. Wow. But yeah, if you want to see that. And they go to Capsule Hotel and eat weird things on skewers. It's great.
Well, continuing on with our TV sort of news, Firefly, if anybody's a fan of that, Steve Byrne, who's a animator and a comic book artist, made a teaser trailer for a Firefly animated series. It's not real, though, which...
That's disappointing.
Yeah, and it crushed my hopes, for sure. I thought there would be at least a revival, but I think they're trying to push the fans a little bit to see if there's an interest there, but
I have not watched Firefly. I've seen bits and pieces of it, which really didn't show me much of anything. But I hear that this has been an ongoing, like they've always teasing their fans. Yeah. Or there's always, like, the April Fool's Day hoax that it's going to come back. Jerks. And just never does.
Did you ever watch Serenity?
No.
Okay. Well, for those of you who have, there is a heartbreaking clip of Wash and Zoe that's 2 seconds long, and it's so sad, though. It definitely made me want to cry, but you're just going to have to watch Firefly and Serenity to find out what I'm talking about.
You'll have to assign it to me one day.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so in game news, yes, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Go again.
You kill me every time.
I'm so sorry. Niantic put their colossal foot down, and that basically means they brought their lawyers in and they shut down all the Pokemon trackers, the most popular one being PokeVision, and the newly developed fan-made Pokemon game called Pokemon Uranium. And this was like 9 years in the making, and they shut down this game. Granted, it was after they had already gotten over 1 million downloads, but and the game's website does say that, you know, they still offer downloads, but their Twitter says the lawyers got involved, and yeah, they had to shut down that.
I'm surprised they got away with it for so long.
Well, they were developing it for 9 years.
Oh, so it didn't come out until recently.
Yeah, until super recently. And
when everyone else was on the Pokemon bandwagon.
Yeah. And it had, like, you know, custom Pokemon in there, and it just seemed like a really fun game. So I didn't get to play it because I read about it too late. The lawyers already got involved. But there's also been a decrease in players for Pokemon Go. And you mentioned earlier, I wonder if it's, you know, I wonder why. And I do wonder, actually, if it's because they deleted so many accounts.
Yeah, well, that's why I stopped playing. And because I'd sort of gotten so far, I just kind of gave up on the whole thing of restarting it. Although, there was a minute where I was like, maybe I should just play it and just collect all the Pidgeys and just nothing else. But, yeah, I wonder if that's part of it. I think it's just also, you know, the people have played it and they're bored of it already. That's going to happen.
Yeah, it's hard to keep people engaged when there's still so many glitches about it. And
yeah, you think that they would have tested that a little bit earlier.
I think they tried to fix the other things, and they, you know, that's why they got rid of the tracker, and now the tracker is useless except for the very few amount of people who were able to use the new one. So I don't know. I'm hoping that it'll be better, but I don't know.
Yeah. I saw somewhere, and I don't know if this was actually real or this was like some weird ad that was just clickbait, but someone had made like a Harry Potter type version of it. Yeah, it was pretty much the same, but I was like, oh, I would totally play that one.
I know, totally clickbait.
I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would have been really fun to just, because you would go around and like try to collect things for spells and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did want to touch base on the Leslie Jones harassment sort of huge problem right now. Mostly because, you know, it started when I think she was still filming Ghostbusters. And after the movie came out, people just started attacking her on Twitter. And then recently her website was hacked. There was like a nude picture of her on there, a bunch of racist slander. I wanted to talk about it because this is awful.
And it's not the first time that this kind of thing has happened either. Like, it just seems people just keep doing this, especially females. Like, I can't say I've heard of it happen to a male actor or, you know, celebrity of any kind. It always seems to be females. And yeah, I don't understand why people feel the need to do this.
I don't either. I don't understand. I get that, like, there are trolls on the internet. And
sure. I mean, yeah, there are, bullies everywhere. But, like, to go and, like, give out personal information about her and, like, nude pictures, like, that's... Why?
Yeah.
Why do that to someone?
And then just the racism in general that has been coming out all over the world, really. Not just about Leslie Jones, but I feel like, I don't know what it is, but people just feel like it's okay